G'day and welcome to SC Playbook NBA. I am Matty G. With me today is Alex Sumsky, the once and former king. Not washed, continually rising in the Supercoach ranks this year. Don't be humble about it.
I was until this week just gone.
How are you going? I'm sucking. I've had my injuries. I've worn it. That Captain Jokic week, horrible. But you've been on an absolute tear. How have you been heading?
I had a pretty good run. I got to halfway. I got all the way up to second in SC Playbook League.
Yep.
8th overall. Yep. And then halfway through that week, I jumped to first overall, and then I dropped. I'm currently 18th and 4th in SC Playbook. So
and I think that's the thing. It's a really tight competition
very tight.
at the top.
There's like three points between people.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So
and that's like, it's a captaincy decision. Like we were talking about this.
It was.
I captained Luka.
I captained Kawhi that week.
I captained Luka this week. You captained Wemby this week.
Who started with 42.
Rip Snorter. Right now, Luka live is on 17 points. And we had a scare before. We had a fan tracks app notification that he's now injured game time decision.
And then a second later, he was back on.
9 minutes later, it's like, no, he's safe. But you are doing well. So I'm going to pretty much call it the SC Playbook Challenge to you, because you can take on SC Playbook right now for the chance to win $1,000 if you beat Sumsky, who I'm going to back for first place. Do not let me down.
I will try not to. And I'll make sure, like I say every week, I'll be resigning from this podcast the day before the end, just so I can collect that check.
You probably would too, you savage. But if you want to do it, are you subscribed though? Make sure you have to. You have to
be subscribed. Yes.
You've got to be subscribed.
I made sure.
And you can't use your contributor subscription, Sumsky.
No, I'm not.
Just because Tim gives us subscriptions, like
look, I wouldn't play it like that. I would make sure that it was recouped purely off of a secondary subscription.
Okay. So
there needs to be some integrity in this process.
Are you going to change the team name, but not Sumsky's team at the very last
I've
minute?
got it on the default. It's very nonchalant.
Very nonchalant. 1,000. The first day we met, by the way, he was like, "Oh yeah, I've got a shadow account that I wanted to run my firm." Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you still run the shadow account?
I gave up after 5 weeks.
Okay, good.
Once the other one started doing well enough, I'm like, screw the shadow account.
Yeah,
I don't need to second guess my decisions.
Well, if you can beat KD over here on a bit of a KD reference for you, you can make sure you can pick up $1,000 if you are the top ranked subscriber at the end of the season. If a non-subscriber wins, $500 to the winner and $500 to the top ranked subscriber. The league code is 142510. It's super cheap, and again, weekly podcast right here at Bloke Studios. You get the top content. And the big thing is this, get in. Because AFL, NRL, they're all kicking off. Like, this is what we're here for. NBA, we've still got weeks left. The NBL, EPL, it's an absolute juggernaut of super coaching. Make sure you get into SC Playbook and subscribe. Now, Sumsky, NBA, there's been a lot of talk about the MVP. Let's talk about it this way, the MVP voting. And we're talking about this right now because one of my big calls this week was do I trade out Jokic? He's the top salary, $25 million. And that's slightly come back to bite me on the bum already because KPJ is equal 42. Because I thought about looking at the schedule ahead. They've got 3 weeks and 3 weeks for Denver. He is Jokic. He is brilliant. But one more game and he is out of the MVP race for the year. He is out of all-team NBA. That's pretty big when it comes to this. And he's openly said he'll play through it.
Yep.
But if he gets hurt, he would rather the team go far instead of just himself, which is a very Jokic thing, which I see him missing then maybe 2 or 3 games or 4 games. It won't matter as long as he heals up after his big stint on the sidelines.
I agree with you.
So you've kept him in.
I infamously kept him in and declared that on the pod last week.
Yep.
Stuck to my guns. I know sometimes I have a history of last minute changing my mind, but I didn't.
You didn't. I know you didn't.
I held on to Jokic. I'm running a Wemby Jokic combo in my flex in my center position.
Yeah.
I wanted to have him for the 3 games because I felt good about what he was going to bring to the table. He had that 35 and 20 game.
Beautiful.
And he had that game while carrying the injury. So I'm saying even when he's operating at even if he's slowed down and operated at 70, 80% to make sure that he's going to stay healthy, I feel like he's guaranteed to play. This was my thinking.
Yeah.
This week he's guaranteed to play because he desperately doesn't want to lose that game for the MVP. He doesn't want to be out of contention. You're right. If it does happen, then it's all over.
Yeah.
But because until that happens, I'm holding strong. I will take a Jokic 3-gamer at this stage. We're in the volatile part of the season. We discussed this before. It's very few points are separating the top players, and I need reliability. I need consistency. Those are things that Jokic brings, every week on 3 games, on 4, on 5, you name it, it doesn't matter. And so, I want to hold strong there.
Now, that brings me back to a certain case in point of like one of the SC All-Stars of the year. Mm-hmm. Let's give out our roses early to one Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks. A huge game, a huge season for this bloke.
Yes.
But a game time decision coming up for his next game. Today, obviously, Jonathan Kuminga returned. Big game for Jonathan Kuminga, but he won't return to Tuesday's game after the Wizards due to a left hip flexor injury, Jalen Johnson. So a lot of people hanging on to JJ. He's been out, but this was the same thing all year, wasn't it? Like, but Jalen Johnson gets hurt. Jalen Johnson gets hurt. Actually, he's been pretty durable this year.
He's been very durable. I mean, I've had an interesting Jalen Johnson experience. I had a great run with him for like 4 or 5 weeks, and it was amazing. I got on right. I think you did too as well. We both got on right as he took off, made a lot of money. It was a great points generation for us. And then when I moved on from him, and I remember I had a couple of weeks there. It was like 3 weeks in a row where I couldn't pick it. It was like I'd bring him in, he'd have a bad week. I got him out, he'd have an incredible
their schedule too. The Atlanta Hawks schedule was a little bit...
It was back and forth.
Yeah.
Then I got back into a good flow with him, and he delivered me 3 great weeks. And then I've been off him ever since because I can't really afford to have Wemby, Jokic, and Jalen Johnson all at one time with other high-value guards and things. It's too expensive. It's impossible for me. So I've had him out for the last couple of weeks. But I tell you what, he has been just... It's a perfect description. He's the SC Playbook All-Star this year for everybody. He's been very durable. I don't know if he's going to fit in for me for the rest of the season now. We've only got, 6 weeks left?
Yep, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's the sprint home.
He may not feature for me anymore. I'm really going to be optimizing for certainty on my guys now, but he's been a centerpiece for my team for a number of weeks.
Swallowing the lead, I've got an article coming up like the SC Early All-Stars. And
that's very cool.
Thank you. He's third overall in the year.
Great pick.
1660.
I back it. He's
the only person who's capped 1,700 points is the guy in question we started the conversation with, Nikola Jokic. Mm-hmm. Even with, 5.5 weeks on the sidelines, the bloke still put up 1,743. His average score generally over the last 3 weeks is about 130. Like, the guy is huge. 200 points last week.
Yeah,
but
on the dot.
It's like he's like the Steven Spielberg of SC Playbook. And I mean that like, do you watch bad Steven Spielberg movies? Not really. Man knows how to direct. Even on a bad day, he's better than most directors on their best day. Mm-hmm. And that's like Nikola Jokic playing basketball.
That's why I know that Jokic's price when I brought him back in, he was like 24.9 mil, something like that. As far as I'm concerned, I was like, that's a discount. That's a discount for a guy that I know is going to give me 40 on any given night. On a bad night, it's 40. So I'm like, okay, I'll take that. Strength
of schedule, you got to back up. I took him out just to make a little bit of real. Now, the point is I've got $3.6 million sitting on my bench right now.
That's tasty.
That's a nice little move. I can bring him back in quite easily. My big thing was squeezing Cade Cunningham in. Now, Detroit, double-checking this for the rest, I really liked him. 4-4-4, then 3-4-4-4. So it's only 1 week of down games for him. Whereas if you're having a look at Jokic and you're looking at the Denver games until the end of the season, 3-3-4-4-4, and then a really bad one, 2 games for Denver.
For the last week?
Second last week.
Yeah.
To bring him back into the final. So I was like, I'd bring him back in for the 4s. Not going to have him on a game of 2s. Not when there's so many 4-game options around. I just can't bring myself there.
You got to draw a line, and the line is at 2 games without a doubt. There's no question.
I think in the 3-1 you can get away with it. The big thing is Wemby, 42 points to start the week. Luka is the other option. He's from 17 before we started this as we said the podcast.
What's he on now?
13.
Oh,
he's lost 4 points.
You'll make those up.
He'll make them up.
Don't worry about it. That's Luka.
He's Luka.
Yeah.
His break even is massive at 152 for the week.
That's expensive.
It's expensive. It's a really expensive play. And I think that's one thing that maybe off the algorithm they have to look at for next season.
100%.
Is the break evens. Because
they're crazy this back end as well.
the crazy back end ones, and I think when we look at guys, again, Jokic is the case in point. When the best player in Supercoach can't hit their break even, there's a problem.
Yes.
And that's maybe a personal just for me, this week rolling into next week, best strategies, best things that we can do. Right now, obviously in week 17, we're running through to week 23, if I'm not mistaken, on the playbook. So we're in 17 now. We're going through into 18, 19, 20. What's your best advice moving forward for the rest of the season? Who do you like schedule-wise, player-wise? What's getting on the Sumsky scanner, on the radar early?
Well, I mean, there was nothing that was getting on the Sumsky radar too early that hasn't already sort of been thrown out there. I have really gone from going for, and maybe this is the wrong mentality. We're all figuring it out as we go along in the inaugural season. But I have been going basically from going like a 2 to 3 week block mentality with my players to having a very week to week approach to it now as we come to and that doesn't apply to everyone. I'm taking that approach because I'm desperately trying to finish that season with as high a ranking as I can. So I'm trying to be super surgical with it.
It served you well at times too. Like it's boosted you up doing that. Like going week to week for you saw you go like right up the charts.
It's kind of counterintuitive because it's like the wrong move for a generalist or someone that's trying to just compete middle of the pack. But if you fluked your way to the upper echelon, and I do believe I had a lot of luck go my way for a bunch of weeks. But once I was there, in order to retain that, I sort of needed to take a little bit of a different approach where I'm laboring over literally the next 7 days and then getting to that 7th day and then laboring over the next 7 days. So I've had that approach with it. The guys that were on my radar, and I put this in my article that went out on Monday, were Kevin Porter Jr.
Yep. Oh, you know that's going to wound me after our conversation off air.
Yeah, I know.
Should have read on Kevin.
Reynard,
Yep.
again, Mathurin.
Yep.
He obviously don't buy him on the two. Like I clarified, don't get him on a
Yep,
two-gamer.
two-gamer.
But when we look ahead, very, very interesting prospect.
Guess who I left on my bench this week?
Who?
Kawhi.
What?
I left it. I did not want to get rid of Kawhi because of the 2 games this week. I'm like, I'm not going to bring him back in. I think Kawhi has been an absolute stud this season.
Oh, yes.
And their schedule coming
I'm just
ahead for the
surprised you
Clippers.
have that depth.
I have that depth.
Wow,
I
that's very good.
got that depth. We call it breadth. What is it? Width?
Breadth.
Breadth.
Yeah.
Breadth and width. I just love that Clippers schedule down the back end. Like I know the 2 games suck this week, but they're backed on for 4 weeks of 4 games from week 18. So I moved Kawhi to my bench because he was the other guy I had to sell. Like, do I sell like him and bring in KPJ, or do I minimize? Do I bring in Cade? And unfortunately, that Cade Cunningham on 17. And then we saw today 42 points already to start the week from KPJ. An absolutely great shout from you. When you know that's the guy I wanted to bring in alternatively to Cade as my cheaper option.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
And I didn't. And I could have probably have kept with a couple of my
Well, you
other
didn't read the
friends.
article.
I did read the article.
I'm joking.
And I was like, maybe he's right. Like, do I back? And I was like, no, I'm gonna bring in Cade because I do like the Detroit. I do like the Detroit system down the end because Detroit does have 3 weeks of 4. So I've got 2 more 4 gamers on Cade, and they need it.
Yes.
Detroit needs him.
I threw out another Hail Mary as well. I put in there
Go for it.
in 0.9% ownership. Pods.
Go for it.
I was like,
Make it sexy.
I said, with Steph out,
Yeah.
he's averaging 14, 11, and 7 in the last week. And if Steph's probably going to be out another week, makes for an interesting opportunity with a player like that.
Just generating cash on those 3-game weeks that Golden State have got for this week and next week.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Then they roll into a triple 4s for the next 2-3 weeks. So for me, the big thing, if you are playing schedule, and if you're not playing Sumsky with it, if you're not going week to week, if you want to really do that big end, you've got a couple of schedule options heading into the back end of the week. Now we're in 4 games, so let's throw this out because by the time you're doing this, your squad's set.
Yep.
You're looking for week 18 on, and that's where it kind of counts. And off the top of the schedule, Dallas played 2 games of 4. And then they've got 2 games of 3. So those Cooper flag holders, they might want to hold on. Even if you haven't moved him already with his injury, we know where he's spending $7,000 on Con Knipple rookie cards, mind you, in Indiana currently. You've got Detroit, 2 more games of Cade Cunningham. Then it starts to open up to the Clippers, like you said, with their Benedict Mathurin shout. This is why I held on to Kawhi Leonard. I'm like, I don't want to have to get rid of Kawhi to bring Kawhi back into my squad for the next 4 weeks, because
That's fair.
I think he plays through it. We've got Milwaukee, like you said, Kevin Porter Jr. in the next couple of weeks in there. Cheap options like Bobby Portis around. And the reason why I held on to OG Anunoby, I've still got another 2 weeks of 4 games for the Knicks.
That's fair.
Like, sucked to start the week, came back from injury, then had an absolute bloody corker. And I think we do get some normality, especially after some of the performances from the Knicks lately. I think we can get in some big purr is coming back on there. Big weeks, though, ahead, in the weeks ahead for Philadelphia. We've got 5 games for them in week 19.
Yes.
We've got 5 games for the Phoenix Suns in week 20. Also in week 20, we're going to Washington with 5 games, who have 4 games next week as well. So we can start to look around.
How are you feeling about the Hawks?
Look, their schedule's crap. Like, we bottom into a pit next week. We've got those 2 gamers next week, then 3 games, 4-4, 3-4. So as you said, I think it's time we can
say goodbye to
Jalen Johnson.
Here's an
Don't get sexy with Jonathan Kuminga after his performance today. Great return for him. But again, is that what you were thinking?
Well,
the cum bucket?
You know what I said to you? I mean, we've talked about this on about 3 different pods now. And I was saying, I said my words were almost verbatim. I'm paraphrasing, but almost verbatim.
No, they were the exact words. You know exactly what you say all the time.
It was that I said, take note of what Jonathan Kuminga does the second he gets to the Hawks. He's going to show you why. Yep. And in game 1, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 75% from the field.
Yep. I picked him up in fantasy in a couple of leagues last night.
Oh, you're a genius. That's what I like to hear.
Well, he was questionable.
He was
questionable. So I'm like, you know what?
But it paid off.
It was a payoff. And
because what is he now? What price-wise? It's got to be. It's got to be.
Do I have to search it?
Maybe.
Well, this is the thing.
12,
do you look? You don't bring
mil?
him in. You don't bring him in because obviously, like, it's a supplant Jalen Johnson now. So
yes,
but their schedule isn't great. If it does look good, he's on 36 points. He is $7 million.
Come on, 7 mil. If you just needed something in a 4-game week.
You would, and you'd play him in week 20 and 21. And if Jalen Johnson is out, this hip flexor issue is going to keep him if we get word that it's going to sideline him for a month,
you would pull the trigger.
Oh, you'd pull the trigger.
You'd pull the trigger.
And you pull the trigger.
I'm watching
all your trades into week 20
with bated breath.
If that's the case, and Jalen Johnson is going to miss extended time. Like, how crap would it be to be the Atlanta Hawks and be like, we've had a great Jalen Johnson season. To be an owner of him, to have loved him all year, to have traded him at his absolute sell high in fantasy or in coach, and then for him to be like, I'm actually going to get injured at the end of the season.
Yeah, I know.
I know I've been great all year.
I know.
But let me just get injured.
I know. It's always the way.
It's going to do that. But those are the scheduled teams. I'm looking at the Pelicans now as well this week. People a lot brought in Zion. Especially with Trey Murphy being out to start the week and his injuries. Houston Rockets this is the big thing. The Houston Rockets have the sexiest overall schedule for me still. They had 4 games last week with the downer on the 5s. They've only got one more 3-game ahead. So whereas I'm sitting on Thompson, Şengün, and Durant right now, they've got 4-4-3 in week 19, and then it's 4 games all the way to the end.
Yep.
So happy to hold on those guys. If you're not on that train yet, you might want to look at it.
I'm on the Durant one. I've held, and then I got rid of him. Then I brought him back this week, which I've been okay with.
Good.
I'm still, unfortunately, I couldn't in the end because I used my boost on that Kawhi captaincy, which I'm not regretting. I am now not in the position of getting rid of everyone that I put on my sell list, and Şengün was there. He's kind of become a bit of a wet fish for me at 16 mil.
Yeah, he's a bit of a...
Yeah, so
his turnovers are horrible.
It is a bit hard to watch.
I love the part of watching Houston Rockets basketball where like they've got like 14 seconds left in a possession.
Yeah.
And then they just toss it to Şengün at the top of the key and he might bounce it like 10 times and look for something and then nothing happens and then he's got to make a bad decision. That's my favorite part of Houston basketball right now. I've got a really big curly one for you.
Yeah.
And this is going to go back to a very early season. Utah Jazz.
We're back there, are we?
We're back here.
We're back there.
Because they've been caught out. The $500,000 fine from the league. It's the biggest story in basketball. Was pretty much dominated All-Star weekend and afterwards. Wasn't, apart from Jackson Hayes being really bad at a dunk contest.
Yes.
Surprise, surprise. Was the Utah Jazz taking and how blatantly obvious that was. We are looking at 2 weeks of 4 games for the Utah Jazz.
How many?
2 weeks of 4 games, not 14, 4 gamers. So we've got week 18 and week 19, 4 games back to back. One of the darlings from the season, and I want to bring this guy's name into contention right now, is Keontae George.
Oh, yes.
Now, Keontae was an early season sweetheart, but right now, burning up the charts has been Bryce Sensabaugh at a nice little $7 million, your little $7 million sweet spot for him.
I love
currently
that
on
sweet
25,
spot.
Lauri Markkanen at 23. The big one that I want to draw our attention to on 10 million is Kyle Filipowski after the use of Nurkic injury. Do we switch? Do we flick the switch for Flip?
That's good.
Do you like that?
I like that.
Philip.
I'm not going to
flick the Philip.
I'm not going to pretend like I've considered him. So not because
you didn't consider Cam Spencer. Do like, who do I have cheap with like 2 cents in my pocket for a Hungry Jack's meal?
It's a good. When I think about it, though, it makes sense.
It does.
It's a good call. It's the right price. It's a healthy upside. You're 100% right in that they'll be forced to fall into line.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I think they've got to play him.
Yeah,
they've got to play him. I mean, Yusuf Nurkic is now out for the year. I think Filipowski is the one that they can do if they are going to tank. I think we do see things like Keontae George go away, as we've seen already. Did not play.
Yep.
Fair enough. Injuries. Nurkic out. Otherwise, you're looking at Ace Bailey, bringing him in. And his Ace Bailey has been serviceable. If you need to downgrade, he is up to $8.2 million yet. So for a downgrade, you might as well put that extra million to somewhere else. But at $10 million, he's already on 20 points for the week. I see this guy get a bunch of run. And in fact, he was the second highest scorer on the team last week in Supercoach points at 90. Again, not really astounding stuff because they are, again, the Utah Jazz. But now there's no choice.
Yeah.
There's no dividing the teams between, there's no Jaren Jackson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Yusuf Nurkic.
Mm-hmm.
Is this someone we can look at to downgrade? I think Vince Williams Jr. has been hurt. From them, Vince Williams Jr. got hurt. I know he was put out. Lauri Markkanen's the only player. I'm pretty sure Vince Williams Jr. yesterday went out. Or today. Right. Was it today?
It's a season-ending ACL tear.
There you go. So Vince Williams,
8 hours ago.
There you go. 8 hours ago. So Vince Williams is now out. Mm-hmm. They're kind of running out of humans to play basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm looking at the Jazz right now and being like, Isaiah Collier, if Keontae George is still going to be out, this is a $10.9 million, so an $11 million point guard who can definitely juice you up on assists, does pretty good from the field when he wants to play. Mm-hmm. But I think it's Filipowski that's got me interested there with like need to lose some cash.
Yeah.
$10 million into Filipowski for 2 weeks of 4 might be an option.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I think that's good thinking outside the box. It's probably it's not the type of play that suits my current squad composition.
No, it's not.
But it is.
You're a swing. You need to swing now.
I do. I'm arguably in the most unrelatable position, but it's a terrible spot to be in.
It is
because I can't just. I've got to make these big plays, and in order to sustain what I've done, because I've gone all in. I've got no bench. I really just optimized for all of the dominoes falling the right way, and now that I'm here, it's like I'm caught out. I'm in between a rock and a hard place with it. I can't. You're enticing me with such good. You're dangling carrots that I can't grab.
Look, I love a carrot dangle.
Yes.
Because let's be honest. When we all started SC Playbook at the beginning of the year, and we all sat down, it was like, what did everybody do? What are the top scorers in this thing? And I think it was like at the beginning of the season. What did we do? We maximized the players with the most value we could get, and then we had some chumps who we hadn't even heard of and who weren't even going to get minutes on those rookie scales. Like we brought in the Ace Baileys and the Cooper Flags, and
who I held for 1 week.
Who you held for 1 week? Hey, shout out to Reed Shepherd.
Yes, actually.
Shout out to Reed Shepherd.
Held for a long time. Yeah.
Held for a long time, people on the bench. And so I think that strategy kind of holds true now for you at the end of the season. Like, give me all of the juice that I can with the most cash that I can put on the field. Like, that's what you need to push.
The problem is that I back myself into a corner because once you've gone down that route, you have no options left. So your optionality is shot to pieces, whereas those that didn't operate that way always have 8, 9, 10 million more than everybody else.
Yeah.
And that gives them that additional breathing room, like yourself and others that I know who are making really strong late season pushes, because they were able to do that. The difficulty with going down my route is once you do it my way, you can't go back. So you have to keep doing it that way, really, until the last week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and so you experience a regression here and there.
Whereas I'm still seeing on OG Anunoby, who scored 4 points and whose break even is 88, and I'm just crying myself to sleep at night. I get 88 for AG. Oh, don't even get me started on the break even.
Yeah.
On the algorithm.
It needs to be nuked.
But it looks at the depth. And then we've got guys who we started off with on this podcast today. Like one of my favorites all season long because of his opportunity was Austin Reeves, who I still think there is a read for. Now he's up to 10.
Okay.
We started on 1. And now he's at 10, and Luke has gone back to 14. This is like live when we're doing this podcast.
Okay, I'm not crying now, but I tell you what, if there's one guy that I've had, you want to have good memories from the guys that you've brought in, at least where you can say, he was good for this stretch, and then he wasn't so good for this stretch.
Started my season like an absolute champion.
But Reeves, for me, I had, when I think of all of the weeks that I've probably owned him, I would say maybe 8 in total, maybe 7, something like that. I think 2 of them have been good.
Yeah. Big rookie of the year stretch. I've got him on 3 games this week. I said I wanted to hold him all season long.
Yes.
Con Knipple.
Yes.
Big shout out to
Best shooter in the league.
Best shooter in the league. First and quickest rookie ever to 200 made threes. I love Con, and as an old school Charlotte fan, I wish Calc Brenner played more. He showed some flashes. I think there's a future there for the big calculator. I like to, as a weekend, boobs.
Yeah.
But Con Knipple, boobs and the nipple in one season, by the way, well drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. They've got a 4-gamer next week. I've held Con since I've still got him.
Nice.
I've still got Con.
Nice.
Even on the 3-game week, he's very, very good. He's been fantastic.
He's averaging 23 points per game over whatever the last 7 games or 7 days or whatever.
23 Supercoach points on a break even of 45 on his first game of the week. It's laughing. It's sitting there.
You take that.
You take that, especially when Cade Cunningham, who we all know is this objectively great Supercoach player, is on 17.
Yes.
Now, although he is the lead, and there's always opportunity for these MVP candidates again. So MVPs down the stretch. Let's look at their schedule just to break it down. I think this is a good thing to look at.
Yes.
MVP nominations again. Jokic. We're looking at 3 and 3. Again, picks up to 3 4-game weeks, and we want to make sure that we're on Jokic and playing ourselves into the cash by week 19. So if you don't have him back on your schedule next week for 19, you're going to have to make sure you've got the cash available for week 19. There is 3 games of 4. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is teetering on the edge of nomination as well. We do not have to worry about him because I don't think we need to, because they've got 4 games this week.
Yeah.
Not going to play. Then 3 weeks of 3 games. And again, I think they ease him back into the lineup with OKC is sitting. Jalen Williams now out as well. Chet Holmgren is obviously the big pony in town. OKC-wise with their schedule, you're even getting better value of guys like Kayson Wallace right now and Isaiah Joe.
But Shea can only miss, 7 more games?
Yeah. And
so I don't know. It's not looking very good.
It's not. And they've got 4, 3, 3, 3, then 4 again. And then 3 and then 4. So the only time you want to even consider probably bringing Shea in is by week 21.
Yeah.
So we've got time for that because we can go 4, 3, and 4. And you still take 3. But again, rest at the end of the season.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to have to start to look at and thinking about that.
Oh, God. I'm so glad Supercoach doesn't go through the playoffs.
The thing is this, Wemby. We've got the 2 weeks right now of 4 games. This is why we brought him in. We stay and play Wemby and we don't touch him for the rest of the season. They've got 2 weeks of 3 going towards the end. We've got in week 19, 3 games, and then again in week 21. He is a set and forget now for the end of the rest of the year, isn't he?
150%. If he wasn't injured, I would have kept him set and forget for the whole year.
Yep. He's been an absolute star.
Yeah.
But again, so is Jokic. Tyrese Maxey. He has been the other one I want to shout out as an absolutely huge asset.
I don't want to talk about Tyrese Maxey.
Why do you? Am I
Oh
bringing
my
up something you know
gosh.
about? What's going
He's
on with
so
Tyrese?
annoying, man.
What's wrong with Tyrese?
I had him last week.
Yeah?
He's been so just
Inconsistent at times?
mid. And then the second
Mid?
I was like, no.
Wait a minute. Wait,
no, not for the season.
Let me bring up some stats.
No, not for the
Let
season.
me bring
Not
up
for
the
season.
okay, go on.
For the last week or two, it's been so hot and cold.
It has.
And every time I'm watching Tyrese and I open the box score, I don't know, am I going to open to 28, 8, and 8 Tyrese Maxey?
We've had conversations.
Or
like, do we trust him?
1 and 7, Tyrese Maxey, which seems to happen now every 3 games.
And the second best player in Supercoach this year.
I know.
This is the
it's
crazy
convoluted.
thing.
And
Jokic being out that long is still the best player.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy. But I got rid of Tyrese this week.
I got rid of Tyrese.
I moved him out, Donovan in,
Yep.
and then Tyrese immediately rewards me with, I think he had almost a 30-point triple-double.
Yeah.
It's sickening to me. I just can't. He's
And
another
then
one
Donovan
that
Mitchell goes out and gets 19 points to start the week.
I know, ridiculous. I was so mad when that happened. But yeah.
And you know I'm a big Donovan Mitchell guy. I think Donovan is very good.
We used to have this inconsistency concern with Donovan.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went it's now gone the other way. And I'm like, but you can't pick him sometimes. You just can't always.
Can I ask on that then? Do you think this Donovan Mitchell effect has been very good on the year? He's played 47 games. He's been reasonably consistent and healthy. His impact next to James Harden. How have you seen that working out? Again, their schedule coming down the track for Cleveland. Nothing really we have to be overtly concerned with. They've got 3 games next week, so you'd be selling out. Then you come for 4, and then you got 3-3. But you do finish with 2 4-gamers. And I think the Cavs are going to push in the Eastern Conference.
Big time.
So, yeah, right? They need to. And that's what they've done this trade for. You've got guys right now who are like Jarrett Allen, who are playing incredibly well. He is currently leading them on 32 points. Dean Wade, he's on 27 Supercoach points this week out of nowhere. Jalen Tyson getting a little bit of extended run after probably being a bit soft. But again, a really good, nice early season buy. But then you start to look at Donovan Mitchell on 19 and this egalitarian offense of James Harden at 13 points. Do you see one of those guys taking the big reign at the end of the season, or do you see them both being dinged Supercoach-wise those last couple of weeks?
If I had to pick, I'm saying Donovan Mitchell.
There you go.
I think that what would probably happen is Donovan Mitchell will be an off-ball beneficiary of James Harden a lot, but Donovan's perfectly capable of getting his own anyway. If he's got control of the ball, he can make things happen in ISO, just not in the same way that Harden can. But I'm more of thinking in my head, and I've had this position the whole time and said it since the trade happened, that I think that Donovan Mitchell's the one that will benefit. He'll get an uptick in numbers, probably playing alongside Harden. It's not a situation where Harden's going to cannibalize him. That was a theory. I don't know if
last week in week 16 was one with Supercoach point difference between them.
Yeah,
both incredible stats.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest beneficiary has actually been Jarrett Allen.
Yes. Oh, you're right there. If I was looking guard to guard situation, but if you are looking at the player on the team who's benefited the most, it's Jarrett Allen 100%.
Because that pick and roll that James Harden is capable to do, he's like one of the best probably pick and roll players of all time. I'm going to put up there that I think his ability to read a pick and roll with how
who's better?
he runs.
He would be almost. You could. It's not crazy to say number one. Who's better?
I don't think there's anyone better. I think the way that he uses and knows to run an offense through a pick and roll, I think the drop coverage that he developed with Clint Capella in Houston from years ago,
yes,
I think is still one of like the those old Rockets.
When I think of other names to throw out, there's Steve Nash on the pick and roll.
I think Luka still. I think Luka, whenever he has a great partner, he knows exactly how to use that. I just don't think he has one. And CP3 is very, very good.
In his day.
Old school, John Stockton.
Yeah, of course.
Small window, just the way that he could run an orchestrated offense from back up the top.
Sheer volume, John Stockton's the man.
Derrick Rose was crafty. Running off of Carlos Boozer and off Joakim Noah back in prime.
Probably didn't come to him as naturally.
I don't think there's anyone who's been able to devastate from beyond the arc and inside on penetration and get to the free throw line and still draw as much as Harden.
No.
I think for me,
the best ever.
And
he's that single season, or those 2 seasons in Houston that he had where it was just like stupid bananas numbers.
Yeah.
I mean,
almost breaking Jordan's scoring record in a season.
That was, and you think about I just think about what he would have been capable of in today's pace, not just 10 years ago, but right now. Yeah. I mean, we would be seeing 39, 40 from him a night.
And this is the thing in this offense. I think it benefits Jarrett Allen. I want to see how it plays out because we do know that Evan Mobley is returning to health after coming back after a big stint on the sidelines there with his injury history.
Yep.
But here's someone who I'm watching down the stretch. And this week, it feeds too. The lead scorer so far in week 17 for them after the very early week that we've got so far is Jarrett Allen on 32 points. And then again, the guards, 19 points for Don, 13 points for Harden. Who's getting the rebounds? Who's getting the blocks? The defensive anchors that they need to be there. But the pick and roll opportunities for these guys, easy dumps and big rebound numbers, are going to be there for those guys to clean up. And Jarrett Allen at $14.7 million, really decent center option.
I'm telling you, one thing I've had in the back of my mind, if Jokic and Wemby are not available on any given week, he is a great center option to bring in.
Great center option.
Particularly on a 4-game week, he'd be my first choice.
He is absolutely cooking. Best ones down the stretch, kicking it off week 18 before we get you out and we kick you out of the pod. We can't kick you out of the pod. You're just going to go to the next episode. Or whatever. So make sure you're checking out the schedule for the following teams down the way. We've got Dallas about to start 2 weeks of 4 games. You've got the Detroit Pistons, 2 more weeks of 4 games. The Los Angeles Clippers are about to roll 4 weeks of 4 games. That includes Kawhi Leonard right there. And one of Sumsky's deep cuts is Benedict Mather, and take a look at him for your rosters as well. And one of your other deep cuts as well, the Milwaukee Bucks still have 2 weeks. Again, we're both fans of Kevin Porter Jr. there. And then we are looking at only one more team with at least 2 games from week 18 and 19. And that, as we said, is the Utah Jazz. We could flip on Philip Alski.
Yes. I'm not going to lie. I'm sweltering.
You're sweltering?
I am having hot flashes sitting here right now. It's very, very, very hot right now.
It's very erotic. Was that old McCona ad? Or exotic? The McCona. Remember the McCona?
Yes.
It's exotic. Well, make your exotic picks. Any final tips and tricks for the week, Sumsky?
Not really. I mean, we covered everything. I mean, we went down the list. Unless there was any other sort of lower tier or less obvious ones that are below the 10 mil mark that we're interested in that we haven't already touched on, because we covered the 7 mil range.
We did cover the 7 mil range.
There's not really much else that needs to be.
Because Charlie's not here. He owes us Lakers jerseys, by the way.
Oh yes, that's right.
People thought that he owes us Lakers jerseys.
That's true.
He's over in where is he? He's in the States, isn't he?
He's in the States.
He can get them cheap over there.
Yeah, you can buy them outside the games.
You can probably
sell
go
them
into
outside
a
the
Lakers game
stadium.
and trying to get a selfie with Luka knowing Charlie. I miss Charlie. He's a good bloke. This is the question, though, for those who have bought in Luka, for those who have LeBron or Reeves, because we know that people love the Lakers. We're amongst the highest percent of ownership in Supercoach as well. And we've seen that all season long. People just wanted to have, I'll bring it up here, the ownership that people get on Lakers because, again, they're the Los Angeles Lakers. People are naturally fan. You look at the percentage of teams, Luka is on 28% of teams. Now, that's 1/3 of Supercoach players, almost 5% off having him. The schedule for the Lakers at the end of the season, what is your gut on this? Because this is one thing that hurt Charlie as well. What do I do? They've got 4 games next week, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4. So you got 2 games in there. Would you hold Luka for the stretch for the rest of the season now? Or are you going to drop him? Or is he your prime mover to bring in talent and acquisitions of a high cost?
I would bring him in on a single week at the back end that I was really confident on, and probably not the last week. It'd be the second last week.
Because of rest games.
Yes.
There you go.
100%. So I don't feel as good about I mean, the fact that we can just get push notifications and it can change in 9 minutes time.
That's crazy.
I don't have the confidence in bringing a $21 million player that has that type of jump scare in him.
And again, most ownerships amongst everybody. He is right up there. He is the 6th most owned player with Ace Bailey, Victor Wembanyama, VJ Edgecombe, still is up there. Wow. Nikola Jokic, even after the massive amounts of trade outs last season, still being held on 37.5%. But the 2 weeks of 4 games, we hope can reward some Supercoaches with the number 1 owned player in Supercoach still being Cooper Flagg on 50.9%.
Ridiculous. Crazy.
Since the beginning of the year, even though potentially been missing out. Well deserved to Cooper. Make sure you subscribe to all things SC Playbook NBA, not just us, but the whole entire family of SC Playbook pods. Again, the footy season it's knocking. It's right here. It kicks off this weekend, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it does.
Make sure you get involved with SC Playbook. We have you covered no matter what your Supercoach sport and angle is. We've got you. Everyone, take care. Be well. See you, Sumsky.
See ya.